Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. K. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, Public Administration, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today we are discussing the classical theory. Classical theory by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. Classical theory, Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. In this topic, objectives of the classical theory. What are the objectives of the classical theory? Then introduction. Then importance of classical theory. Then early history. Then papers on science of administration. Then importance of structure. Then Gulick principles of organization. Then post-Karp. Then Urwick principles. Then summing up. These are the important headings in the classical theory. Objectives. In the classical theory by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick, there are some objectives to understand the basic ideas of classical approach or theory. To understand the basic ideas of classical approach or theory. Then describe the principles of organization. Describe the principles of organization. What are the principles? How it make? What are the use of principles in the organization? Are all discussed in the classical theory by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. Then identity, the importance of structure and its functioning. Identity, the importance of structure and its function. What are the structure and importance of the structure and how the structure functioning are all discussed in the classical theory by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. Then life and work. Life and work. Luther Gulick was born in Osaka, Japan in 1892. Luther Gulick was born in Osaka, Japan in 1892. Doctorate, he got doctorate from Columbia University in 1950. He served in defense services. Urwick was born in Britain in 18 1891. He educated from Oxford University. He was Lieutenant Colonel in the First World War. Both had rich experience in the field of civil service, military organization, and industrial undertaking. But both worked in the USA. Both are from different nations, but their working place is USA, common, that is USA. Their work entitled Papers on Science of Administration. It is a great work. It was published in 1937. It was considered as an important landmark in the evolution of administration. Then Gulick and Urwick had rich experience in the working of civil service, military organizations, and industrial undertakings. They were greatly influenced by the writings of F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol. F.W. Taylor, Henry Fayol. These thinkers influenced on Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. Their work entitled Papers on Science of Administration, 1937, was considered as an important landmark in the evolution of public administration. It is a great landmark in the history of public administration. Luther Gulick, he obtained his doctorate from Columbia University in 1950. He served in various capacities as an consultant. To the Defense and Civil Services. He was a member of President's Committee on Administrative Management. He has several books and research articles to his credit. The notable among which are Administrative Reflections from World War II, Metropolitan Problems and American Ideas, Modern Management for the City of New York, and Papers on the Science of Administration. This is related to Luther Gulick. Then Lyndall Urwick. Lyndall Paunus Urwick was born in Britain in 1891 and was educated at Oxford University. Urwick, a lieutenant colonel during the First World War in the British Army, was associated with a number of international management associations and was considered to be an outstanding consultant on industrial management. He has published several books, among which mention may be made of Management of Tomorrow, The Making of Scientific Management, The Elements of Administration, The Patterns of Management, and Leadership in the 20th Century Organizations. He also edited papers on the science of administration, dynamic administration, and freedom and coordination. These are their works. Both came from different nations, but both are rich experiences in military as well as civil administration and management. Both are worked in the USA. The great work of theirs is Papers on Science of Administration, which was published in 1937. It is a great work. It was considered as an important landmark in the evolution of public administration. Then, structure of administration. Urvik remarks that it is possible for humanity to advance its knowledge of organization. Urvik remarks that it is possible for humanity to advance its knowledge of organization. Organization as a determining activities that are necessary for a purpose and organization in groups. They believe, both of Urvik and Lindahl, Urvik and Luther Gulick, they believe that capable of reducing the diversity in human nature and fit them into according to their needs and principles. And organization builds on principles. They believe every organization builds on certain principles. It is also an universal truth. The classical approach basically emphasizes on a structure of administration. Structure is a device through which the human beings working in organization are assigned the tasks and are related to each other. It believes that effective functioning of an organization depend upon the type of structure that a group of human beings build and operate. Urvik, commenting on the need for a structure, notes that starting a work without structure is illogical because in a good engineering practice, design must come first. Similarly, in a good special practice, design should come first. He further adds that logically it is inconceivable that an individual should be appointed to a position carrying a large salary. In a good social practice, design should come first. He further adds that logically it is inconceivable that any individual should be appointed to a position carrying a large salary without a clear idea of the part which that position is meant to play in the general pattern of which it is a component. The responsibilities and relationships attached to it, and the standard of performance which is expected in return for the expenditure. He concludes, it is a stupid to attempt to order an expensive piece of machinery without a specification. Therefore, the basic search is to formulate certain principles which are capable of aiding in building sound organization. The principles therefore provide the necessary conceptual framework to build organization and work as indicators to judge effectiveness of organization and its capability in achieving the set goals. Then importance of the classical theory. Every women organization has a purpose. Every women organization has a purpose. Group of human beings coming together to achieve a common objective of organization. Early stage to present stage, there is need of principles for organization. From early stage to present stage, there is a need of principles for organization. Deeper knowledge outstanding for building the better organization to achieve the set of goals. Every human organization has a purpose. A group of human beings coming together to achieve common objectives gives rise to organization. Organization, according to Urvik, is defined simply as determining what activities are necessary to any purpose or plan and arranging them in groups which may be assigned to individuals. If an individual all by himself is able to complete the entire process from commencement to completion, there will be no need for an organization. Human history from its food gathering stage to the modern scepter age has passed through several phases. While in the early stages, when the life was simple and man was engaged in the basic struggle for survival and had a very limited objective, the organization was relatively simple. It was the Industrial Revolution which marked the beginning of complex organization. The complexity stems from the multi-dimensional goals involving stepping up of production with the help of exploding science and technology. Increase in the production brings in changes in human values and calls for new adaptation and adjustments. It is in the wake of such developments the organization passed through critical and crisis period. It is the situation that warrants a detailed study of the organization, not only to gain deeper understandings but make us of the knowledge for building better organization to achieve the set of goals. That is the importance of the classical theory. The classical approach emphasized that the effectiveness of a group of human beings depend upon the type of structure in which they are operating. The structure is to them is basic for any group effort. The structure they believe is capable of reducing the diversity in human nature and fits them into pattern where they have to respond according to the needs and demands of the organization. The claims of classical approach for a theoretical status is based on its faith that the principles that are enunciated are universally valued. Then, papers on science of administration. The principles first systematically developed and incorporated in book on papers on science of administration, which was published in 1937. It is a great work of both of them, Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. It is a landmine stone in the evolution of public administration, that is papers on science of administration. It is a great work. These principles papers made an effort to understand the basic cause which made human being resort to organization. Work division is the foundation of organization. According to them, work division is the foundation of the organization. Then universality of principles based on these papers. These principles who made Luther Gulick and Urwick, they made some principles. These principles are universality principles. Based on these papers, that is papers on science of administration. The principles of organization need to be appreciated against this background. The principles were first systematically developed and incorporated in the book on papers on science of administration, edited by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. These papers made an effort to understand the basic cause which made human beings resort to organization. Luther Gulick argued that the basic cause for genesis of an organization was division of work. He maintained every large scale or complicated enterprise required many men to carry it forward. Wherever many men are thus working together, the best results are secured when there is a division of work among these men. He further added that the theory of organization has to do with the structure of coordination imposed upon work division units of an enterprise. Hence, it is not possible to determine how an activity is to be organized without at the same time considering how the work in question is to be divided. He concluded with the observation, work division is the foundation of organization, indeed the reason for organization. He thought that if one person could carry the entire quantum of work when there would have been no need for an organization. Man invented organization as he failed to perform the total work single-handedly. As a result, he had to divide the work, and it was this division of work, according to Gulick, which was the cause for the agencies of organization. The aim of each principle is to raise the level of efficiency of the organization. For this purpose, the human beings are required to be organized. In this process, the principles of these should obey them. Then Luther Gulick principles of organization. Luther Gulick principles of organization. Luther Gulick expounded 10 principles of organization. 10 principles of organization. In expressing these principles, Gulick was very much influenced by the Henry Fayol's 14 basic elements of the administration. The Gulick principles are the division of work or specialization. Division of work or specialization. Then basis of departmental organization. Basis of departmental organization. The next one is coordination through hierarchy. Coordination through hierarchy. Then deliberate coordination. Deliberate coordination. The next one is coordination through committees. Then decentralization. Then stop and line. Then unity of command. Then delegative. The next one is span of control. Span of control. And another one is 4 P's: purpose, process, person, place. These are the Luther Gulick's 10 principles of organization. Among the 10 principles of administration, Luther Gulick lays special emphasis on division of work. According to him, division of work is the basis for organization. Indeed, the reason for organization, work division implies that the job to be performed be broken into its component functions, and gain each of the component functions be broken down into simple repetitive activity. At each stage, the subdivision of work is followed by the interrelating of the individual parts. The focus of attention is shifted from grouping the various activities into subunits, collecting the subunits together to form units, and interrelating the units to create the overhead organization. Thus, Gulick says that division of work and integration are the bootstraps by which mankind lifts itself in the process of civilization. In assigning function to group of people, their first principle is homogeneity based on the identity or simplicity of four factors. These are four P's. That is the purpose they serve, the purpose they serve, function, then the process they use, the persons or things they deals with, clientele, then the place where they work. These are the four P's said by the Luther Gulick. Then postcarp. Luther Gulick promoted another seven principles of administration, and is so doing kind an acronym that is postcarp, considered as the final expression of administrative principle. It stood for P. P for planning, O for organization, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordinating, R for reporting, B for budgeting. Planning in every organization, that is compulsory, in every administration, in every planning also. That is working out in broad outline the things that need to be done and the methods for doing them to accomplish the purpose of set for the enterprise. Then organizing, that is the establishment of the formal structure of the authority through which work subdivisions are arranged, defined and coordinated for the defined objective. Then staffing, that is the whole personal function of bringing in and training the staff and maintaining favorable conditions of work. Directing, that is the continuous task of making decisions and embodying them in specific and general orders and instructions and serving as the leader of the enterprise. Coordination, that is the important duty of interrelating the various parts of the work. Reporting, that is the keeping those who the executive is responsible informed as to what is going on, which thus includes keeping himself and his subordinates informed through records, research and inspection. Then budgeting, with all that goes with budgeting in the form of fiscal planning, accounting and control. It is the famous administrative principles of Luther Gulick. These seven principles coined one word, that is an acronym. It is postcarp. It is a famous work of Luther Gulick in the evaluation of public administration. In every organization, in any administration, these are the compulsory to perform the individual as well as an organization and so on also. These are the compulsory: planning, organization, staffing, directing, coordination, reporting, and budgeting is the compulsory in every organization. Then Hurwitz principles. After Luther Gulick, Hurwitz also set some principles for organization as well as an administration. Hurwitz identified 8 principles. Luther Gulick identified 10 principles. Luther Gulick identified 10 principles and Lyndall Hurwitz identified 8 principles of administration to all organizations. The principles are: the principle of objective, the principle of objective, the principle of objective, that all organization should be an expression of a purpose. Principle of objective, that all organizations should be an expression of a purpose. That is one principle. Then second one is the principle of correspondence. The principle of correspondence, that authority and responsibility must be co-equal. Authority as well as responsibility must be a co-equal. That is another one principle, that is principle of correspondence. Then next one is the principle of responsibility. The principle of responsibility, that the responsibility of higher authorities for the work of subordinates is absolute. That the responsibility of higher authorities for the work of subordinate is absolute. That is principle of responsibility. Then the scalar principle. That a paramedical type of structure. Is built up in an organization. Scalar, one by one, step by step, top to bottom, just like that. Scalar principle. Paramedical type of structure in built up in organization. It is also another important principle in the organization. Then the next one is principle of span of control. Then next one is the principle of specialization. Is limiting one's work to a single function. Then after it will become a specialization in that work, in that field, etc. Then the principle of coordination. It is also another important principle in the organization. In any organization, coordination is very, very important in the organization, among the staff, among the workers, among the laborers, between the management and workers. The coordination principle is the most important in the organization. With the complete coordination, with the perfect coordination, the work will done smoothly. Then after the organization will developed. Then another one is the principle of definition. The principle of definition, clear prescription of every duty, clear prescription of every duty, principle of definition, that this is the definition, this is the work you XYZ can do. This is the clear cut definition, clear prescription of every duty, that is called principle of definition. These are also important principles in the organizations and as well as in administration. That is principle of objective, principle of correspondence, then principle of responsibility, then scalar principle, then principle of control, then principle of specialization, then principle of coordination, and the eighth one is principle of definition. These are the important principles of Lyndall Urwick for the management and as well as in the administration. Summing up, it has been propounded to ensure efficiency and economy to step up production. It is pioneering attempt to systematic human organizational experience. It is bring out that without structure the organization cannot run. This systematic search led to the enunciation of certain principles which are useful to organizing any group effort. These principles are based on truth, common observation, and day-to-day experience. The classical approach, the classical theory said by Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick is mainly a response to rising capitalism in the West. It has been propounded to ensure efficiency and economy to step up production. It is almost a pioneering attempt to systematic human organizational experience. It is from empirical observations that the principles of organization are evolved. These principles, which constitute the basic components of the structure, are intended to organize the group effort in an orderly and systematic way. The approach brings out significantly that without a structure there would be large scale dissipation of human energy. This systematic search to lead to the enunciation of certain principles which can be useful in organizing any group effort. The strength of these principles lies in the process from which they come up. They are based on simple truths, common observation, and day-to-day experience. Lack universal validity and theoretical sophistication, but absence of it can cause considerable confusion in any human organization. They need much more careful analysis The classical approach attempted to systematize organizational experience and paved the way for subsequent breakthrough in conceptual development. It also provided the stimulus for a lively debate. All the factors make the approach important and relevant to the study of administration. Thank you.
y minus b y minus 0 whole square a square 16 minus 4a square 4a 64